Welcome to the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. This is episode number 24. In this episode, Jeremy talks about the Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Eagles. He discusses his thoughts on bottle marketing and compares his Wild Turkey 101 experience with that of better bourbon reviewers. This is episode 24 of the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. Hey there, Backyardigans. It's Jeremy with the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. This is episode 24. How you doing? What you doing? What you thinking? What you drinking? Hey, last week was the Super Bowl. I actually caught it. I've got glowing reviews for the Fubo.tv people. They did a great job. It streamed perfectly. Maybe it's a combo of Fubo TV and NBC in their sports app on the Apple TV. I don't know. I don't care. It worked great. It didn't even pixelate one time that I can remember. No streaming issues whatsoever. It was great. So if you're looking for some streaming solution and you're in the Stillwater area, that worked for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but it worked for me. The Super Bowl. It was shocking to see the Patriots play like this. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like a wow. I mean, they just... I read in Sports Illustrated, I think it was ESPN, said the Philadelphia Eagles out-patrioted the Patriots. So I think that's the best way to describe that. It was just bland for the Patriots. I don't know. There was no defense. Philly played without fear. Another thing I've noticed is that, after a Super Bowl, almost every one of the announcers will call it an instant classic. Greatest they've ever seen, right? The thing is that you just watched it, so that's the most fresh in your memory. So you can't make that judgment call right after the game. There's no way. They did the same thing with the Broncos and the Packers. After the Broncos won Super Bowl 32, John Elway finally got the Super Bowl ring. And I still think, because I'm a fan of the Broncos, it is the greatest one, because it went back and forth, and there was great defense, there was great offense, there was the whole thing. There was Brett Favre going for yet another Super Bowl ring, and there was John Elway trying to get his first one after 3 failed attempts, and on and on and on. Broncos can't play on the big stage. There's all that. But I'm a fan of the Broncos, so of course I'm going to think that's the greatest one. That's my team winning the Super Bowl, you know? The thing is, if you're a fan of football, though, you're usually a fan of that specific team, and if your team is playing and you win, instant classic. One of the greatest you've ever seen. If they lose, it's miserable. Trust me, as a Broncos fan, the first Super Bowl was like in the 70s against the Cowboys, and we had no chance. They lost. We were just glad somebody went. Our team went. And then in the 80s... we went 3 times and we lost them, and the score kept getting bigger. The score we were beat by was increasing every time. Giants beat us 39-21. And then we played the Redskins next, and it was 45-10. And then the next time we were in the Super Bowl, we played the 49ers, and the 49ers were hold my beer, and they beat us 55-10. And it was just we couldn't score more than 10 points in the Super Bowl. And it was in the first quarter, and there's nothing more miserable than knowing after the game that your team scored its points in the first quarter when you thought things were going good, and that was it. That's all they were going to do. That's as far as they were going to get. It's just miserable. There's no misery like watching your team blow it on the biggest stage. I would rather they just don't even go. Just because it was so... And it's second place, right? You should be happy. We were almost there, but it's more miserable. You have fans of other teams that didn't even come close to reaching 500 on the season calling you the loser because you came in second place. There's no misery like it. But if your team isn't playing, I think you can be more objective. There's still a lot of... They go, well, greatest ever. 2 seconds after it's over. Have you ever seen anything like it? I just can't believe we're all witnesses. It's so beautiful. Nah, whatever. 2 days later, reality sets in, and then people calm down, and then you know what I didn't like, or I just thinking about this, they didn't do blah. But right after, it's an instant classic somehow. So NBC was going off on that, and I was like, whatever. let's get in some bourbon. The marketing of the bottles is always appealing, interesting to me. Some of these guys know what they're doing. Some of these guys don't. Four Roses, very popular bourbon, and I've read great things. I have not read one review anywhere about a bad experience with Four Roses bourbon. And in fact, some people claim that it's the only one that doesn't give them headaches. Also, according to the Whiskey Jug website, that's whiskey with an E, thewhiskeyjug.com. Knob Creek is distilled at the same distillery as Four Roses. But the bottling for Four Roses is the most unappealing thing to me. The square bottle, the rose picture, none of it looks attractive. It looks like bottom shelf booze. Like somebody made it in their bathtub. They could draw a rose. They remember doing that in high school, so that's what they came up with. It's just, I'm missing out on a great bourbon just because I don't like the bottle appearance. I'm going to have to get some Four Roses just to try it out myself. Same thing with Wild Turkey, though. Before Matthew McConaughey and that whole 101 thing won me over, I don't know. Just doesn't make sense that a really, really good bourbon be stuck with something completely unrelated to their bourbon taste that's turning off potential customers. I don't know. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try out the 101. And I listened to my podcast about the 101 earlier, and obviously my podcasts suck, number one. But number two, I clearly know not very much, if anything at all, about describing the taste in bourbon whiskey. And so what I'm going to do is, speaking of the whiskeyjug.com, I'm going to go through their review of Wild Turkey 101, ranked an 87, which is a B+. I am going to see what they say they see. They like the nose, the taste, the finish, etc. I'm going to see if I can pull those same things out after reading. Okay, they notice caramel, spice, some nutmeg, etc. I'm going to see if I can train myself to do that and help you, the loyal listener, out there in internet land just listening to some jackwagon expound on his worthless thoughts. So that's coming up in the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. Thanks for listening, and I'm going to hit pause here and get things set up so I can do some proper tasting. Okay, I'm going to try. Move this over here. I'll do this. Going to try. The Wild Turkey 101. And then just go through the Whiskey Jug's review, see if I can pick out the same notes, smells, etc. Alright. Sure I do that in front of the microphone there. Okay, the nose. How is it on the nose? They say sweet caramel, bourbon spice, nutmeg, and cinnamon. I can smell the spice for sure. Caramel, yeah, okay. Let's look at this. I'm learning stuff. Nutmeg. I don't know what nutmeg smells like. Let me put the cork back in the bottle here. Try to break the cork. That would be bad. The vanilla is pronounced and brings with it some sweet cream. I don't notice the sweet cream. Maybe, though. See, part of this is the power of suggestion. Yeah, I'm seeing some sweet cream in there. Yeah. The wood is a bit hidden until you add a splash of water, and then it rolls out next to the vanilla. Oh, well, maybe I'll have to try some with some water. The taste. Okay, so we're past the nose. All right, I'm smelling some of these things. That's nice to know, nice to learn. Taste caramel like a Werther's Original. Okay, never thought of that. Sweet corn, followed by vanilla. Funny thing is, when I did the 101 review, I thought I could taste some type of corn element. I just couldn't find the words for it. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. I couldn't find the words for corn. Some citrus, slight grainy malt, and a bit of smoky ash. Add some water, and the oak begins to express itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to taste it without the water, and then I'll add the water and see what I can, if I'm picking up the wood hints in the nose and in the taste. Oh, no, I can taste the wood. Oh, wow. You know what? If you like, yeah. If you press your teeth together, tromp your teeth, not too hard, you can taste that wood. What else did they say? Werther's Original? I didn't notice that. I do now. Sweet corn. Yeah. Vanilla. I'm tasting the vanilla for sure. Red licorice, though. I don't get that. Power of suggestion, though. I don't taste the citrus, so I'm just not an experienced connoisseur, I guess. Okay, the feel. Smooth and warm with a slight burn, yeah. Overall, a great mouthfeel, yes it is. Let's see, long and initially dominated the finish. So we're tasting 4 things here, and we're looking at one thing, obviously the bourbon. A dark copper. Now, I would say an amber. Oh, look at me, getting diverse in my descriptions. My adjective use is just going through the roof. Okay, the finish. Long and initially dominated by the caramel, but fades to wood. Hey, look at that. Fades to wood. Let me try that again. Man, I'm really tasting that caramel now. Fades to wood, sweet grains. Sweet grains. I don't know what that would be. I don't know if I'm tasting that. And dark fruit. I didn't know I'd have to know my fruits. Anyway, that's very lovely. Let me hit pause here. I'm going to try adding a little splash of water. To the glass here. Just a splash. Oh, what determines a splash? I don't know. I'm going to get just a little bit of water, though, and add it. Let me hit pause. Okay, what I've got, I got another glass with just a splash of some filtered water. And by splash, I mean just barely covering the surface of the bottom of the glass. Wait for it. Oh, that's nice. Okay, and just a little bit of 101 to that. All right, now on the nose, the vanilla is pronounced, brings with it some sweet cream. Wood is a bit hidden until you add a splash of water. Oh, okay, maybe so. I'll take your word for it. I wouldn't argue that. Yeah, I can smell the wood. The charred oak. Rolls out next to the vanilla. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm getting that. But let's try the taste. The oak begins to express itself much more. I don't see that necessarily, but it does say the corn becomes even more prominent. That is for sure. You can definitely taste a hint of corn there. Made from corn, so that makes sense. Got to be 51% or more corn mash, so sure. Oh man, I gotta tell you, this 101 is my favorite right now. I'm gonna put a cork right there in that. I am loving that. That is good bourbon. That's good bourbon. Well, folks, that's about it for today. I am definitely learning a lot about officially tasting some things and knowing, expanding my vocabulary, if you will. Hey, you know what? If you don't have 101 in your cabinet, you owe it to yourself. You truly do. Especially with a splash of water. That goes down so smooth. Oh, that's very nice. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Hopefully it wasn't too long or boring. Pretty sure it was. But anyway, hope you're doing great. We'll see you next time on the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. We'll talk at you later.